Good evening. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy middle of the week. Happy last month of the year. Happy middle of whatever is going on in your life. Our intention here at Spirit Central, I'm having fun calling it that, is that if you need a little lift, if you need a little faith, if you need a better understanding of your relationship with Spirit, well, that's part of the reason we're here. And you are so welcome to join us. I like to think that we're a kind of spiritual clinic. We help you feel better if you're feeling bad. And we'll help you feel even better if you're already feeling fine. And we can function as a spiritual urgent care if that happens to be what you need in any given moment. And we're happy to be that. I'm often asked, since we are obviously not traditional, if we believe in God. Yes, of course we do. Then I'm generally asked just what it is that we do believe. So here it is in a nutshell. We believe that there is a creative, motivating power in the universe. And since we know that there are universes beyond the universes, then beyond all of that. Call it what you will, it answers to 1,000 names. It is the intelligence, the activity, the power, and I believe the love back of all of creation. It is the higher life within each one of us. And when we realize that, we can direct its energy to heal our lives, others, ourselves, and our world. So now you know. So I like to set you up with a question in each one of these little sessions, because the last thing I want you to do is leave your brain at the door, so I like you thinking. So here's tonight's question. What don't you know? I know you probably do know what you know, but what about what you don't know? What don't you know? To set the tone for the evening, I'd like to go right into what I'm going to talk about, because I think it's important and appropriate. So if you don't mind holding on to what you'd like to say for just a little bit longer, I'll just jump right in and do this, and then we can chat back and forth when the talk is over, and you can ask for prayer support, you can ask me pretty much anything you would like to ask me. But let me get this out of the way first, okay? So, what I want to talk to you tonight is curiosity. Now, I've never thought of myself as a particularly curious person. I like to think I just kind of look into things once they have my attention. But seriously curious? Well, I'm not so sure. So, I'm taking a course right now that is about learning to think like Leonardo da Vinci. It is fascinating, and I am loving it, and I would recommend it to anyone. Anyway, the first lesson was all about curiosity. Curiosity. Learning to live in the questions. Keeping that childlike sense of wonder that makes one curious about, well, everything. What is this? Why is it here? How many colors does it come in? Where do rainbows come from, and why? Da Vinci, it seems, was curious about everything. He studied anatomy, psychology, or more specifically, how the brain works. He was a musician, an athlete, an inventor, and a relatively well-known painter and sculptor. You've probably heard of him or seen some of his work. And he was so far ahead of his time in so many areas that we still haven't really caught up to him. All because he was curious. He'd look at something and ask, how did that work? How does this work? How could I take that and make it do this? How can I make it even better? Why isn't there a thing that will fill in the blank? Because so many of the things that we live with and take for granted today, Da Vinci thought of way before we did, and drew pictures of them and designed them and, well, all of that. Curiosity may have killed the cat, but it didn't seem to hurt Da Vinci at all, not even a little bit. So then I was contemplating the wonder of Da Vinci's curiosità, and I ran across an article by Michael Jameson entitled Curiosity. And I was curious about what that was all about. And according to the author, it was about building curiosity into your spiritual practice. Building curiosity into your spiritual practice. Curiosity and spirituality. Well, you know I was hooked. I had to read it, and then having read it, I had to share it with you. I just had to. The article begins with the aforementioned quote, "Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back." The author of which quote is unfortunately anonymous because I'd love to give him credit. It's an early 20th century saying which implies that an enlivening, how a return from death kind of satisfaction, can be had by satisfying your natural curiosity. The warning, "Curiosity killed the cat," probably never really stifled anyone's curiosity. Because if you're paying attention, you get that the truth is that curiosity motivated the cat, got him up and moving, just as curiosity motivates people. At least those people who are fearlessly self-confident. What holds a lot of other people back is venturing out of their comfort zone. And satisfying their curiosity is it's a fear of the unknown, isn't it? If I knew about it, I wouldn't be curious about it. Yet curiosity has empowered explorers of every kind throughout the ages. It was curiosity that motivated sailors of long ago to travel out of the sight of land. Imagine how frightened they must have been, not knowing whether they would arrive at some far distant nirvana shore or fall off the edge of the world. Scientific understanding advances only because of curiosity. Inventions improving the quality of physical life are inspired by curiosity. What if we did this? What if that does that? This is how humanity develops and evolves. Curiosity drove the westward expansion of the United States. While replicating Lewis and Clark's westward travels, William Least Heat Moon contemplated a favorite quotation from Alistair Reid. "Only the curious have, if they live, a tale worth telling." Now, the "if they live" part might be a little bit off-putting to some, but only to those who are immune to wonder. In those special wonder-struck moments, we become like the curious cat. And like the feline, We come alive. Have you ever had one of those moments when you really couldn't believe your eyes? When what you saw or thought you saw was so out of the ordinary that you had to rub your eyes and squeeze them together and shake your head just to make sure you were really seeing what you seemed to be seeing? What did you do? My fabulous grand puppy used to bark at other dogs on the television. And if the other dogs ran off screen, he ran around to the back of the TV to see if they were there. And he always came out shaking his head. He couldn't figure out where they'd gone. Curiosity is the stimulus that promotes a creative response. Curiosity and creativity are paired like two people on a tandem bike. Curiosity steers creativity. Creative artists are driven by curiosity. And absorbed artists will forego sleep to work with intense curiosity on a composition, to see how the image held in mind will actually manifest in reality, to see if his vision is actually translatable to something that can speak to other people. If it is, then that translation is shared with others, sparking creative curiosity within them. In this way, artistry reaches out to inspire others to see what they can do, inspires their curiosity to find out if they can manifest beauty or brilliance or inspiration themselves. When I see a beautiful painting, I yearn to pull out my paints and have another go at it. When I hear a lovely poem, I want to grab paper and pen and see if there might be something in my mind that longs to be expressed, that is willing to escape my mind and appear on paper. From the mundane to the magnificent. From preparing a meal to landing on the moon. Curiosity is the stimulus that promotes a creative response. I wonder if kind of leads to, I just might try. Curiosity also fuels the drive for personal growth, and it cannot be stifled. If ever you feel stifled in reaching for a goal, in keeping a New Year's resolution, in getting past a block, understand that your innate curiosity will uncover a way out of the situation. What's going on here? Why can't I do that? See if you actually are willing to stick around and answer the question for yourself. Well, something might just happen. Curiosity calls for growth. Let curiosity call your creativity forth to be of service in finding solutions to your own problems, to the problems of those you love, to the world. Like a mischievous cat or a river irrepressibly bound for the sea, curiosity will make a way over, around, or through any barrier. Curiosity is spirit knocking on the window of your soul saying, take a look at what you could be doing. And because it is spirit delivering the inspiration that curiosity manifests, we have nothing to fear by following through. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? In following through and asking yourself, I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if that could be done differently. I can remember decades ago sitting in a metaphysical church listening to the minister who I dearly loved and appreciated, who said something from the pulpit, and a little voice went off in my head and said, I wouldn't have said that way. I kind of let go of it for a minute, and then a few minutes later, she said something, and I thought, oh, I wouldn't have said that way. And another voice in my head went off and said, so how would you have said it? And I stopped and thought and decided how I would have said it. And that same voice, you know, that one that kept popping up in my head, that same voice said, if you think you know so much, why don't you go to ministerial school? And that was the beginning. That voice in my head that said, how would you have said it? Which made me stop and think about how I would have said it differently and why I would have said it differently. And it changed my life, that question. The author of the article on spiritual curiosity writes, if ever you grow curious about why you do not seem to be making it in life, explore your consciousness in search of attitudes, thoughts, and feelings that could lead to self-sabotage. This inner scrutiny could be as scary as sailing out of the sight of land, but you need not worry about becoming lost or falling off the edge, for creation has a forgiving design. It's all, he wrote, in the divine plan. So, here's what he says to do. Take notes if you wish. Exchange worry for wondering how to be on the cutting edge of quality living. Your inner guide or spirit reveals the way when, with fearless curiosity, you seek it. Something within you asks the question, but you have to respond. The important thing, he writes, is not to stop questioning. Why me? Why this? Why that? Curiosity, he says, has its own reason for existence. We can't help but be in awe when we contemplate the mysteries of eternity, the mysteries of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of the mystery each day. You know, it can be as simple as wondering why gravity. We jump out of bed in the morning, we put our feet on the floor, and we don't realize the miracle that has just happened. Gravity has held us to the ground. Or how about why is there air? We wouldn't be here without it. Or why the lingering of light after the sun has slipped into the sea? Or why so much beauty? What's the point? What does it serve? Certainly it inspires us. But why is it there to inspire us? What's the point? Curiosity is more important than knowledge, said Albert Einstein, who also said, old man's advice to youth, never lose a holy curiosity. Stephen Hawking, who had a good thought or two, said, remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder about what makes the universe exist. Be curious. And however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't just give up. Eleanor Roosevelt said, I think at a child's birth, if a mother could ask a fairy godmother to endow it with the most useful gift, that gift would be curiosity. Now, I've done a lot of baptisms for children. Maybe some of yours. Maybe you. If you've been present for one, you know that I give the child a magic wand. And I say to the parents and godparents, in fairy tales, there are often godparents who appear at baptisms and, waving their magic wands, bestow wonderful gifts upon the child. Now, life may not be perfect as a fairy tale, but there is a spiritual reality to it that is perfect. And we are told that what we bind on earth is bound in heaven. So I ask you to claim that special gift that you have. Look into your heart. Find what you have in abundance, in heaps, and claim that special gift for this child. You may be blessed with an abundance of love or health or prosperity or faith or grace. The gift is yours to choose. What do you feel you have so much of that you can easily share it? I ask of you only this, that in your experience of life together, you, as godparent, continually affirm that gift as this child's reality. And give as much of it as you can to them throughout their lifetime. I love that. It's my favorite part of the baptism. I love sharing the wands. I'm meant to get one out and failed to do that. But if you have one, you know. And if you don't have one, make one up. You don't need to have one of my special wands. Actually, anything that will point will do. You can use a pen. You can use a special magic wand. I just happen to have one of right here. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, the woman who wrote Women Who Run with the Wolves, said, practice listening to your intuition, your inner voice. Ask questions, be curious. See what you see, hear what you hear, and then act upon what you know to be true. These intuitive powers were given to your soul at birth. Or maybe by your fairy godmother when it seemed appropriate. Damien Eccles, in his book Life After Death, writes, those with less curiosity or ambition just mumble that God works in mysterious ways. I intend to catch him in the act. So let us do that, shall we? Let us catch God in the act. Let us look for spirit around every corner. Let us delve into the mysteries. Let us stare wide-eyed in awe of the wonder and the beauty that surround us and ask why. If not to inspire us, then for what purpose? And if to inspire us, how did it get there? Who or what put it there for the sole purpose of inspiration? Asking, looking around, staying awake, asking the questions, hoping in every moment to catch God in the act of creation. That we may find unlimited ways to express our divine birthright and be creative as well. Let us never cease exploring. Let us never stop questioning. Let us never stop believing. And since I have a magic wand out, let me pray. Creator of all life, I dedicate these curious ones to your care. May perfect intelligence guide them. May unfailing light surround them. May the unlimited power of curiosity fuel their minds. And may divine creativity be their lifelong companion. And may their journey be accompanied always with love, as it is today. I behold spirit within each of you. And you can never be separated from the divine presence that is your very life. You are the joy of God expressed. You are the beauty of God as a gift to the world. You are the wisdom of God, asking questions that lead to answers. May you come to know that God's love always enfolds you, and God's strength upholds you, and God's wisdom will fire your curiosity and lead you in paths of wonder. The God within me sees and recognizes the God within you. For the Spirit within you is the God within us all. For this sacred remembrance, for the blessing of your life, for all the wisdom and wonder that surrounds you, for the creative curiosity that guides you and brings you joy, I give thanks. And know that it is so. And so it is. Amen. Good evening, all. I just was so excited about this whole idea of spiritual curiosity that I couldn't wait to get started tonight. So there we go. Hi, hi, hi. Hello, good evening. If you've ever traveled with Heidi, you know that curiosity absolutely does drive her imagination. We took a little tour on one of our excursions and stopped and looked at doors They were fabulous. I had such a good time. I still have some pictures somewhere. I'm not good with keeping my pictures where they belong. And this was pre-telephones that took pictures. So I'm not even good at taking pictures. But it was such fun. It was such an experience. I think you nailed it, Heidi. I think curiosity is absolutely our spirit wandering. If I'm not focused right here in this moment, then where is my mind going and what is it doing and what's it going to come back with? See, I think that's part of it. And what if we allowed ourselves to be curious about God? Well, I suppose some of that is why we are here. I can't wait to see your new doors. Yeah, see, I think some of you, Laura and Heidi in particular, are naturally very curious people. And so you are very artistic people, very creative people. Now, I've always thought of myself as being creative and, minor league artistic. But I've never thought of myself as being particularly curious. And now, having taken I am in the process of taking this course. And the very first lesson was about curiosity. And I thought, okay, so what can we do to encourage curiosity about our lives, because I believe once we open that door, once we start asking the questions, the answers not only begin to show up, but it leads us places we wouldn't go. And how much fun could that be? And ultimately, I believe everything leads to spirit. Like I say, you stop and say, okay, why are sunsets beautiful? Well, yeah, there is a scientific reason for the layers and the colors and all of that. But that's not really the point, is it? Our why is, now if we are scientifically inclined, then a creative curiosity would lead us to studying about why that happens, the how that happens, the what's going on behind it all. But if we are looking for spiritual answers, then the why becomes a different question, doesn't it? Why is that there? Why does that do that? And why does it speak to my soul when it does that? Why do redwoods grow so tall? Have you ever seen a redwood seed? It's the tiniest little thing. Little redwood seeds. Now you can go to the redwood country and buy a burl and grow redwood that way as well. But the seed itself, the seed of a redwood tree, crash, is a very small thing. How does that happen? I think I discovered very on in my personal life that I didn't want to look foolish, so I didn't want to ask the questions that came to mind. So I sat in school and the teacher would say, who knows, blah, blah, blah. And I'd think, oh, I know. But I would do this, And somebody else going like this and shouting it out. And they'd say, yes, that's right, brilliant, my answer. And somewhere along the line, I think I kind of shut down my curiosity. And I'm very excited now about building it back up again. Asking the questions in a spiritual sense. Because, well, I don't think of myself as being particularly scientifically inclined. And when you live with somebody that's got 3 doctorates, I don't need to be. But when I ask the questions about God, when questions pop into my head, how would you have said that? Oh, well, I would have said, why? Because I think more people would understand it if you said it that way. Well, then why don't you do something about it? See, following those things. And every time the voice in me says, why don't you do something about it, I find myself doing a whole new thing, which is kind of exciting. So I guess I'm challenging you to do that as well. Now, some of you are already out there way ahead of me. But those of you who may be pulling back a little bit, come join me. Let's find out what this is all about. Yeah, I think you're right, Heidi. That, curious energy does lead us toward abandoning caution. But aren't most of us overly cautious anyway? We get so protective of our lives and ourselves and what we've got that we're kind of afraid to abandon caution. But I think we need to. See, if I look back in my life, what I discover is that every time I have done that, every time I have stepped out of my comfort zone, something wonderful has happened. Every time. Yeah. I know that's true of you, Laura. I know that's true of you. Incidentally, are you back home now? Things I need to know. And Heidi, when are you going to Atlanta? And let's see. Dana, what are you up to? And Jennifer? What's going on? Talk to me about what's going on in your lives. Let's lead into curious prayer. I like the what could be part, Laura. I like that very much. Okay, good. We're glad you're back. Oh, Heidi, it's all moving so fast. How exciting. How exciting. So for a few days you have to get animal care. And then, are you going to take everybody with you? Of course you are. So, I'm curious. What can we be praying for your life to make it fabulous? I'm curious. And I'll pray for whatever you tell me to pray for. I don't step in and decide things on my own. I don't pray for people who haven't asked for it. We want Heidi to be able to answer that question. You go, girl. Lives are changing for the better. I know that. If you read what was on my page before you came here, you saw that Tina was not, for a really silly reason, was not accepted for the trial that she was interviewed for yesterday. But they are putting her on a list for a trial that will start next year. That looks like it will be better. They are eliminating the thing that they stopped her on with this one, and they are removing a part of it that would not be in her best interest. She and I both thought about that. So if you get a chance, you can back up and read it. But I found myself praying for her yesterday morning. And while I had the interview in my head, what I also was very strongly guided to was saying this or better. The highest good for all concerned. And I think that's exactly what's happened. Yeah, better next year. Dana says, give me patience. And I want it right now. Got it. She didn't say that. She just said patience. Who else? Who else? I'm curious. Okay. Heidi, this is so exciting. Don't you all feel the excitement of it? I am so pleased for her and excited for her and excited for them because they've got her. So there you go. Exactly. We've all experienced that, haven't we, Heidi? Not this time, not this feeling, not this moment, but yeah, what happened was bitter indeed. And I think that's exactly the situation that Tina is in. Exactly. So, you can share, Heidi. I know. I know. Email me. So, I've got one prayer for Dana. The rest of you don't have any prayer requests? My goodness, I think the world may be coming to an end. Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. Yes, got it, Heidi. Got it. Okay, so Laura, rest. And healing. Got it. Okay. Jennifer, that's all right. Calls from Hazel are an excused absence. We all love Hazel. We all kind of feel connected to Hazel. I love that. She's our collective child. Grandchild. Yeah, it's probably closer to the truth. Do give her our love next time you talk to her, please. Tell her all of her friends are sending love. Jennifer, is there anything you would like prayer for? I'm collecting. And I want to make sure I don't miss anything. What does Hazel want for Christmas? Her birthday wish was more than satisfactory. Good. So do you know what she wants for Christmas? She's a good asker. And what would Jennifer like prayer for? Okay. Thank you. All right, if there's anybody hanging around back there who hasn't chimed in, just let us know if there's something you'd like prayer for. Because we certainly would love to pray for you. I love to pray. All right. Oh, Jennifer, I'm so glad. You deserve that. Ah, yes, thank you. Okay. Well then, my friends, let's pray. If you think of something while I'm praying, just pop it in to the comment box, and I will try to catch it. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Or just soft focus. Whatever feels best. You know what works for you. And the intention is simply to bring your attention within. To the God space within you. And I know that God is all that there is and that it surrounds you. You are immersed in it. But I know too that it becomes the most powerful for us when we recognize that it is as well deeply within us. There is simply no place where spirit is not. No place that if we are curious enough, if we ask enough, if we look enough, we can't find it. There is no place where it is not. And so we can accept it in the stars, in the heavens, in the deepest ocean, in the highest mountain, and deeply within each one of us. All that there is spirit. And we are each individualizations of that spirit, that creative power, that energy, that wonder. And I know that each of us has the power to create healing, to create strength, to create answers, to create joy, to create whatever it is we may feel is lacking in our lives or the lives of others, simply by proclaiming it. Just as in the beginning, Spirit said, "Let there be light," and there was light, so we can say, "Let there be light," and there will be light. And then we can question the light if we choose. So I know now that there is power in the claiming. And so I claim for Dana patience. That her sweet heart, her loving heart, understands and finds patience and peace within her that overrides any other feelings in any given moment. She has peace of mind, peace of heart, love, and patience. I claim for Laura rest, healing, joy, increased creativity, less anxiety. And I know for her cousin in Arizona, physical healing, strength, renewal. I know that every atom in her body awakens now and recognizes what it truly is and responds to that. And I know too for her cousin in Texas, a strong body, a healed heart, a healed mind. Renewal, renewal. I know for Heidi that she remains upright during this exciting time in her life. That her feet can move fast enough, her body can move fast enough, and God knows her mind can certainly move fast enough. And I know that her response to whatever is needed will be creatively magnificent. And that she will find joy and fulfillment and fun and excitement and many, many more things to be curious about as she moves forward. For Jennifer, I know a continuation of the spot she feels in right now, the content space that she claims as her own, and so it is. And so it surrounds her, and it enlarges even, and touches others. I know for Hazel Rose that this is going to be the most wonderful Christmas. That she is surrounded by love and loving people and joy. I know for Patricia Michelle, a revealing of what is going on in her mind and her body, and a healing of that, and clarity and strength. As she is renewed and redeemed. I know for CAC, amazing success with her projects. That the right people at the right time in the right place all converges at one time to create immense success. The right people are drawn to the project. And all is exceedingly well. I know for the Unity Church in Ventura, the perfect minister, an enlightened response. They have worked hard, and I know that it will come together well for them. I know for this ministry, joy and success and growth and curiosity and the very vibrant presence of Spirit in and through all that is said and done. I know that all is well in the world. That what seems to be going on right now is simply the working out, the working toward the revealing of Spirit. And I know as we enter into this season, peace on earth and goodwill toward all humanity. And I am so very grateful for this, and the more for the unspoken prayers that are answered now, because they have been turned over to God. For the joy of this season, for divine right action unfolding in each of our lives. Divine right action, with an emphasis on the divine. And I am grateful for all of this, grateful for life, grateful for each of you, grateful for this ministry, for this family. Grateful, grateful, truly, truly grateful. And I let go, and I let Spirit do its thing. And so it is. Yeah. I see we have a closing song. Curiosity. How strange.
Interesting.
I thank you all for being here tonight. I thank each of you for your contributions, both to my happiness by showing up and to our hour together by speaking your words and your truth. And I thank you too for the financial support. You've been quite generous, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. Those of you that we can see, and those of you that stand back in the corners and simply support, I'm grateful for you. And so it is, indeed, my friends, and so it is. Abracadabra. As I speak, I create. Thank you, Jennifer. All of you, an amazing week. Magic happening. Don't forget to be curious. If you don't know what's going on, ask. And if they don't speak up, ask life. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you on Sunday. We'll be back here at noon on Sunday and 7 o'clock next Wednesday evening. Love you all. Bless you. As if you needed more.